Good evening, everybody. It's time for another live stream. Welcome. It is about 9:30 p.m. on January 11th here in Zhongshan, China, and I am happy to be back home. I just got back from Beijing. I spent almost a full week there and had some great experiences. There were a lot of good things. There were a few fails involved, mostly my fault for lack of proper planning. You go to certain places, you try to plan properly so that you can maximize your time efficiently when you go to these places, and sometimes things just do not work out all the time. And that was my experience, and that's what I happened. And I'm gonna share with you those experiences as well as some other things that are going on. Happy New Year, everybody! Uh, I'm one of those guys that 2021 was a tumultuous kind of year, but there were a lot of great things that happened in the year as well, and so I try to stay on the positive side. I'm very much looking forward to 2022, and that's what I hope to discuss with all of you in this live stream. It's early for me, but I plan on this being kind of a longer live stream tonight because I got a lot to share with you guys, and it's been a while, and I'm looking forward to talking with y'all. So, without further ado, let me just get into it. The term is over. I am free from teaching for the next 6 weeks. Yes, I have about 6 weeks holiday through the Spring Festival, and I'm on the fence about whether or not I'm going to do any more traveling or go any place, or if I'm just going to stay put here in Zhongshan. Maybe a little day trip, to a neighboring city here and there. But things in China, it's okay, but there's a lot of uncertainty, and I'll get into what I mean by that. It just after my last trip, I was kind of turned off by it a little bit, and I'll explain why, and some ideas that I have that we can talk about. But if you're out there, please say hello and join the conversation. Love to have you. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with something just a little fun here. I'll share my screen real quick. Okay, so we'll start with some photos. The first thing I'm going to share with you guys. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, I had it. Dang it. Lost it. Hold on one second. I had it ready to go. There it is. Okay, well, it's loading. Some of these files are kind of large, I guess. But um, hello. Is it Hamza? Hamza Ahmed. Where are you from, Hamza? Where are you hailing from? That's what I love about doing these live streams because I get to talk with people from all around the world. It's really a lot of fun. I should do them more often. You think, right? Okay. Here we go. Okay, so let's start with these photos that I've got. I meant to share these photos with you in the last live stream, and it kind of got away from me. I guess I forgot. Now, my girlfriend Mona is a yogi, and I'm a yogi too. I've been doing yoga since I was about 29, 30 years old, and I often credit yoga as being kind of a lifesaver. At the time, I was very much out of shape. I just got out of the service. I was working God knows how many hours, 7 days a week in real estate. And I picked up some bad habits. I was drinking a lot. I started smoking cigarettes. By the way, I am an ex-smoker. But as anyone who has ever been I used to smoke a lot too. I used to smoke almost a pack a day. And that was when I was 29, 28, 29, 30 years old. So, I'm 42 now, so you can do the math. And if you've ever been a smoker, you know that once a smoker, always a smoker. And I always tell my students and everybody, don't start because once you start, you cannot stop. I mean, even today, I do not consider myself a smoker, but if I go to a bar and I have a beer or something and somebody lights up a cigarette next to me, it's like, it doesn't, it definitely has a smell. Usually when I drink a beer or something, that's kind of a trigger for me that I crave that nicotine boost, that cigarette. And I've been pretty good about it. Occasionally, if I go out, I will indulge in a cigarette. Mostly go outside with the guys and share a cigarette. But I haven't been doing it. Now, what I have done though is I picked up one of these little um, vaping pens, and I've been using it now. This is no BS to you guys. I've been using it now for a few weeks, and I love it for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't have cravings for cigarettes, so I don't use it very much. I actually use it more than I should, to be honest, but that's mostly because of it's a convenience thing. But a couple of things I've noticed after using this. The first thing is I don't crave cigarettes at all, and when I smell cigarettes, I'm actually very much turned off by it. So it has been a huge change in my cravings. So that's the one thing with this, with these little vape pens. The other thing is that I usually have kind of a sweet flavor, a sugar flavor, if you will. I think I got like Coca Cola in this one. Mm. And it's pretty mellow. It's basically water vapor, right? And I've also have not been craving sugar. So no sweets, no cola, no chocolate, no late night snacks, things that always, affect my waistline. So I've actually been losing weight as a result of using this because it's cut down on those two cravings. Now, this is obviously still not very healthy. I know it's healthier than all those other things, all those other vices, but I have to admit that this is a little lifestyle thing that I've picked up in the last couple of weeks, and I've noticed good and bad with it, but mostly good. And I'm very happy with it. It was pretty inexpensive, so that's something you might see me taking a puff here and there. It's because it's late at night and I'm kind of relaxing with y'all, enjoying it. But anyways, okay, so going back to that, I am a yogi, long time yogi, been a yogi for a long, long time. I love yoga. I used to do the hot yoga, and my girlfriend Mona is also a yogi. And for a very long, ever since I met her, she's been begging me to do these couples yoga photos. And I said, okay. So it's been a while, and I went down to Sanxiang, and her sister, who's also a yogi, took some photos for us. And Mona is much better at this stuff than I am. So I'll share some of these photos with you because they came out really great, and I think they're freaking awesome. And I'm very impressed with how they came out. Let me share. So here's uh, this is a lot harder than it looks. Now I can't put my legs out. I don't have the flexibility. I used to be a lot more flexible. But as you can see, Mona definitely has enough strength to hold herself up like this. Um, that's a lot harder than it looks. That's for sure. um, this one was obviously an easy one for me. Just hold her up. Again, she makes these photos look so much better than she makes me look better than I really am. But they came out so well, and her sister did a great job in photographing it. This is just in a little garden near their house, and of course we took some solo photos of her as well because she's very good at this stuff. Uh, Here's a flying one. Um, Again, these are not easy to do. I mean, they're easy for me because I'm just on my back, but balance. And she's tiny; she doesn't weigh anything, so it doesn't. But for her to keep her balance and keep everything straight like that, it's an awful lot of strength and flexibility involved in these. And this is one I like a lot. You know, that one actually I strained to get this shot because I'm not, especially my back, I'm not that flexible. But I mean, the dancer's pose, I can do that dancer pose pretty good, the one that Mona's doing. But yeah, we had a lot of fun for an afternoon making these photos. And so I just wanted to share, I was supposed to share with you them with you last time, and I'm very happy that we have these photos. Pretty cool. Okay, so who's on? Okay, we got a bunch of people on. Let's say Amin from Oman. Well, very cool. Look at that, man. The internet is incredible. This YouTube live stream thing is awesome. I get to talk with someone from Oman. Excellent. Never been there. Ziv, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you, Ziv. Hope you're doing well. Um, I'm very happy to see the online version of Here Magazine. It helped me stop smoking cigarettes almost 2 years now. See, yeah, I actually, I stopped smoking cigarettes when I was about 30, so about 12, 13 years ago. But I still always had these cravings. And every now and then I'll have a pack just like hidden somewhere. And, once or twice a month I would go and I'd sneak a cigarette in, but I'd have a couple puffs and I'd hate the way it felt. Even though I got that nicotine jolt, I didn't like the smell it created, on my clothes and in wherever I was. It just so a guy recommended this to me, and it's done wonders. It's been really really good. So these are becoming so popular because they're very affordable. I've seen other ones that have they're just these giant things with oil that you like dip into it and stuff with the different flavors, and they just look like these massive things, and I know those are really really expensive. This little tiny one was like $40, and the little cartridges, you get three of these little cartridges, and one cartridge will last me a week for 100 RMB for three of them. I mean, it's pretty cost effective. It's a lot cheaper than smoking cigarettes. And like I said, it has also helped with my other vices such as sugar. Not many people. I mean, Americans, we love sugar, right? But it's actually sugar so addictive, and I have always been addicted to sugar. Anyone who knows me knows I love candy. I love sweets, and I'm always sucking on some hard candy or something. And I haven't had those cravings. In fact, with this, I've been eating a lot more vegetables and fruits because this is like a sugary flavor to it, and that kind of controls those cravings. Well, yeah, Ziv, he says it's not very affordable if you vape all the time. Yeah, it can get very expensive, especially if you have those big suckers. But you know, health wise, I just think it's better. I've seen some benefits to it. Again, it's not 100% healthy, but it is a step in the right direction, I guess. Okay. All right. So what else have I been doing? Let's share some more photos with you. Oh, I have. I think I talked about this last time, but I have some merchandise now available. You can find some links on my YouTube channel and in some videos. Of course, you can go to my website walkaboutrojo.com and you can buy some merchandise. These were very easy for me to put together. I don't think that they're too expensive, especially the baseball shirt. That's the one everyone seems to like. And then there's the sweatshirt here, this hoodie that everyone seems to like. So yeah, you can help me out. Get yourself a cool little gift. Again, the baseball shirt seems to be the best seller. I like it. Looks pretty cool. All right, let's start with some food porn for you all. I was recently invited to a Christmas dinner. This is right around Christmas time. I had a great Christmas. We'll talk about Christmas and New Year's. And this was a private dinner that I was invited to by the local restaurateur. And it was like a 13-course meal. It was insane. And I mean, the food was good. I mean, it wasn't the greatest food I had. It wasn't really my taste in food, a lot of the dishes, but it was an experience. And everything that we did here was an experience. Of course, it was a nice little Christmas theme. Uh, I'm not a huge fan of seafood, but some raw oysters. This was a scotch with a little bit of chocolate. That was actually really good. Let's see here. So this is just some of the dishes. Again, this is not clams and shrimps and everything like that. It's not my personal favorite choice. I'll eat it. But when I go to a restaurant, I don't have cravings for seafood. Occasionally, I'll have a nice salmon steak or something. But again, the experience is what it was. I mean, every single little dish that came out, they lit on fire, or they put through a strainer, and this is a sticky rice that they had over its own heat source, and yes, that's gold on top of it there. Very very cool. And then they, little chrysanthemum, because it is Zhongshan, so we add some chrysanthemum petals to the soup, lighting it on fire. Yeah, I got to do it. I vlogged the whole thing, so it'll be on a future video at some point. And then here, like, they brought out this contraption, and they had this ice cream, and you strain these. They weren't sugar. I can't remember. They weren't sweet at all, but these giant noodles all over the ice cream, and yeah, really neat experience. Again, everything I'm showing you here, I've vlogged about and will be sharing with you, especially a lot of the food, a lot of new Zhongshan food stuff coming out. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, and then as you all know, I've been teasing this for a long time, but I've been filming with the Zhongshan Fire and Rescue Team. I did a little bit of it a couple of months ago and released a little small video on Zhongshan Rope, and I got another opportunity to go train with the elite teams. So there's fire departments all over the place and fire teams everywhere. And I got to, climb the wall and, race putting on the equipment and, kind of got to see where they live and where they hang out and stuff, which was really cool. I love firemen. I mean, when I was a little boy being a fireman, I mean, a lot of little boys have this dream of being a fireman. I got to live that for a couple days. But this crew here, this is the creme. These guys, there's 38 of them, and they're the top level. They have the best equipment, the best training, and everything. And I got to go out there and spend a few hours with them and see how they train in certain situations. Uh, that was really cool. This is me on the ladder truck with a couple of the fire guys, and this ladder truck, this platform truck, goes up 45 meters into the air. Yes, we went all the way up and got some good drone shots of me up there. Um, they all were shocked that I would go up there. I'm like, 45, yeah, it's not a big deal. You're strapped in. It seems pretty safe. Here's what the truck looks like with me up there. Yeah. So that's not the full height. That's about 20 meters. It actually goes up about another 20, 25 meters on top of that. It's pretty high. And the hose that's connected to the top there will shoot water out about 60 meters. I mean, you connect it to a external water source, and it's pretty impressive equipment, most definitely. And of course, these little things that push it up, they actually suspend the truck and give it a lot of stability. Very, very neat stuff. Let's see, this is one of the guys that helped put it together. Great guy. They look really cool in their uniforms. I had 3 different guys. The company commander came out and he gave me a quick salute. He was really cool. This is one of the dudes that helped organize the filming for me. It's right down the street from me. It's basically in my backyard. And of course, the guys are super, super proud of the job they do. These guys are young, they're fit, they're incredibly talented and fast at what they do. Everything from climbing up, walls, rappelling down, zip lining from one roof to the other. I mean, they train all day, every day on this stuff, and it was a great experience to hang out with them and film with them. This is simulating. We kind of joked, "Oh, Lawai in jail," right? But what we did is we kind of it's a simulation of being trapped in this steel door area, and you can see the triangle on the door, and this guy will come over and actually cut through the steel in order to rescue someone who's trapped behind a steel door. As you know, there's steel doors in every apartment. I mean, every apartment has a regular door, and then there's like a steel door, it's like for security. And sometimes people can get trapped inside those steel doors. So you can see here they have this massive saw, and this guy just comes out and just cuts right through it. They also have like the jaws of life bolt cutters that can cut the steel as well. But that was really, really cool to see this dude just slice through that steel plate. And afterwards, I mean, it was red hot. I mean, you couldn't go near it, you couldn't touch it or anything. But what they would do is they'd stick their hand through that hole and open it up. Pretty cool watch. I mean, I'm pretty close to him here in this photo when I took this photo, and these sparks were flying. Yeah, they were flying on me. They were flying everywhere. Really, really cool experience. And then we got to actually go into a couple of things. They have this building that is partially collapsed like this. So it simulates like an earthquake environment where the building has collapsed, and it's all, I don't know what the degree is, but it's basically a 45-degree angle that's slanted at, and everything inside the stairs, everything's messed up inside, and you have to kind of walk around this building and climb the stairs to get to the top floors to simulate a rescue situation. and I didn't have any equipment on, but I'm walking around and it's so disorienting trying to walk around that building and navigate it. I can't imagine trying to do it with in the dark with smoke and the heat or the cold and all that equipment, oxygen mask and trying to look for people and everyone's yelling and screaming. I was just there on a nice day walking around and it was tough for me. In addition, they had these training rooms that I actually got to film in. This was really good. These are all coming out in a vlog soon about training with these guys in a personal vlog. So it's a big one. It's a really really big one that I've been producing, and it's going to take a lot of time to vlog it and have so many other videos I'm working on. But it's in the can. It just needs to get developed. We went into these training rooms, and these training rooms. There's about 5 or 6 of them, and each one is a different scenario. They have one that's a crawl space, and they have smoke and heat and strobe lights, and you're supposed to crawl around on your belly through these crawl spaces, simulating like a ceiling crawl space, excuse me, or something, looking for trapped individuals or trying to gain access to certain areas. They had your typical kitchen fire where the stove was on fire and it was real fire that was coming up, and you walk in there and it's completely dark, and the heat from that fire was very real. Then they had other rooms such as like a bedroom, and then they actually had a KTV room with a microphone in the center and a stage, simulating smoky environments, little fires, getting in and out, down fire escapes. Really, really impressive training facilities. And in the middle of it was a control room that had water and control the fires and cameras and timing systems. They had 3D kind of virtual reality rooms where you had to put on these goggles and kind of navigate around, simulating sensory deprivation kind of stuff. Incredible thing. I got it all on film. Hopefully it comes out well, because it was dark in those rooms, and so I hope there's enough light to show you exactly what it's like. I can't thank the Zhongshan Fire and Rescue Team enough for providing me not just one day but 2 days to film this stuff. Great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with y'all. All right. So it says Zhongshan Engine Pride. Yeah, these guys, firefighters are very proud. By the way, I'm trying to get with the police next. So through this experience has been really good. But I'm also trying to get through the city some ride-alongs or some work with the traffic police, something to do with the local police departments, because excuse me, these guys out here that handle traffic or the local police department, they're really really cool guys, and so I'm looking forward to maybe working with them in the future. I'm trying to hook that up. We'll see what happens. But the fire department one, by the way, these guys are also the guys that go out into the mountains and like rappel and climb up rock faces to rescue people there. I mean, they're here in Zhongshan, but they also support the fire departments all around Western Guangdong, including like Zhuhai and Jiangmen and Foshan, places like this. So they're not just exclusive to Zhongshan. They're based in Zhongshan, but they're really the top level support team for all of the Western Pearl River Delta. Very, it was such a cool experience. I got to live out a childhood fantasy with these guys. All right, let's move on to Christmas, shall we? I had a great Christmas. Mona got me a tree. I went out to see Mona in Huizhou, and I usually will get like a little Charlie Brown tree or something from my apartment here, but it's just me, so there's nothing underneath it, no ornaments. I just like having a tree. So I went out to spend Christmas with Mona, and she got a tree, and it was such a shock to me. And it was decorated with lights, and we put the gifts underneath. It was just me and her, and we just put the gifts underneath the tree to simulate. There's only a few there, but it really made a difference, and she made my Christmas very very special. So thank you, Mona, for doing that. I appreciate it. She also cooked me dinner. I had been working all day because we work on Christmas in China, and it was a long drive to get out there. I mean, it was a Friday night, I think, was Christmas Eve, and it took maybe 4.5, 5 hours with traffic to drive out to Huizhou from Zhongshan, because of the long weekend. And you can see here she made a Caesar salad and a couple of filet mignon. That's not filet, I'm sorry, that's sirloin, but a couple great steaks and of course French fries because I love French fries. And you can see here, this is eggnog, homemade eggnog, and she had vodka in it, but it was complete with cinnamon and everything, and it was a real Christmas dinner. So to all my family back home, who I miss and I love, and I didn't get to spend another Christmas with them. It's been 3 years now. Um, Mona made my Christmas very special. So I still had a wonderful Christmas. I called my family. I got to talk with them and wish them all Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a good Christmas too. And then, okay, so I've got extra out to. I got too many. Sorry, I got a lot of photos to share with you guys. Okay, and back to it. Then we went camping or hiking in Huizhou. We went up to these pools. This is an old rock quarry that's been filled in. Now that water is crystal clear. And we didn't hike down to it. We tried, but the trail here, I got a picture. They can see the trail is um not a great trail. It's pretty it gets very, very thick and you lose the trail. And so we didn't get down to the water. There's another pool that we saw from my drone. I was flying the drone over it, and we saw this incredibly blue pool area that we didn't know about really. And so, if we ever go back to this place again, we're definitely going to hike to it. I think it's a great place to go camping. And this is south of the. Oh, my computer went crazy there. This is south of the main part of Huizhou, and kind of off the map a little bit. Good time. I hope to go explore here again. I really do. Again, vlogged it all. Will be in future videos. I have this video coming out called Adventures in Huizhou that has a number of things from all my visits there in the last few months. Different things, different food adventures, different hiking adventures, camping, um, exploring the city. It's going to be a good video if you're familiar with the city of Huizhou. This is pretty comprehensive vlog that I've got coming out. Again, it's all in the can. It's just a matter of sitting down and editing it. And I've been traveling and I've been working, and now that the holiday is here, I get some free time. I think, yeah. Guys, say hi to me. Where are you from? I know you're watching. Say hi. Join the conversation a little bit. All right. Got my third shot, my booster shot. This is the scene of the vaccine. So my second shot was 6 months ago. So I got this little message on my phone saying, "Hey, come and get another your booster." And it give you like there's no appointment needed here, at least here in Zhongshan. But they give you this message and they give you a time to come by, but it's like a recommended time. Essentially, you can just show up if as long as it's 6 months after your second shot, you just show up and get it. It costs 100 RMB for foreigners to get it. Um, this is in a local middle school gymnasium, and with the wait time, it took about 2 hours to get this done. The process was pretty simple. You wait in line, you fill out the little paperwork, you show up to the guy with the computers, enters and all, and then you go stand, and you get the shot, and then you go sit in that little area down there. That's all people just waiting. They have to wait for 30 minutes after they get their shot for observation before you're allowed to leave. So that's all that is. So the people in the stands, those are all the people waiting for their turn, and that's it took like a Thursday at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was the busy time, but I don't know, very, very good, and I'm happy I got it. Easy peasy. If you haven't been vaccinated, go get vaccinated. I mean, really, at this point, there's no excuse. You guys should all be getting vaccinated. Okay, moving on. Uh, this is in right down the street from me, actually, just a couple blocks from me. This is Old Town Zhongshan, Shichi Village. I've done a video about it. And what they're doing here in Zhongshan, for all you Zhongshan lovers, is they've announced an initiative to revitalize the Sunwen pedestrian street, which is all the old buildings. Some of them are over 100 years old. They're kind of a mixture of Western, architecture, incredible stuff. Lots and lots of amazing history here, right down the street from me. Literally, I can walk there. And there was a ceremony here announcing these initiatives to revitalize the area because some of the buildings are a little, a lot of them are owned by the city now, and some of them have been falling into disrepair and unused. Uh, but to redo some of these buildings to increase tourism to this, and I was doing a vlog and filming, and while I was filming, after the ceremony, I stood there, and the guys filming me, and then behind them there were like 10 photographers just going crazy, and it was so distracting I couldn't film. It took a many takes to get my dialogue in, what I wanted to say about the revitalization, and then I just sat there, and everyone wanted photos, so the people are so friendly and wonderful. It was great. And the whole thing is about the revitalization of this street. This is the Sunwen pedestrian street. If you know Zhongshan, you know this place. It is the oldest and most successful business street in Zhongshan. And the architecture here and the history of these buildings going back, what they used to represent, the businesses that started here, it's incredible. And each one has its own unique little story. I absolutely loved learning about it because a lot of this stuff I didn't know. And so walking through and talking with people and getting a sense of the history just made me appreciate it a lot more. And as you see in the background, you have Holiday Plaza and the Liho Plaza, which is the newer parts of I want to say newer parts, but it's the more modern parts of town. But I love walking around these streets. And Mona and I actually went for a walk recently, just looking for some nightlife and some street foods in this area. It's a very vibrant part of the city, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the future. Okay, very cool. Let's see who's out there. Okay, so we got um Heinrich. Hello again. Hello. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate that. I don't know what that means. Okay. Sorry. All right. But thanks for joining the live stream. More photos and more things to talk about. We're getting to Beijing here in just a second. Happy New Year. I spent my New Year with Mona. We went camping. We went camping on the south side of Huizhou between and this beautiful bluff cliff. It's an actual campsite, and there were quite a few people there, but we were able to find this one spot overlooking the ocean there. Beautiful place, beautiful sunset. There was an awful lot of garbage that we had to kind of push to the side. There were no trash cans. Well, there are trash cans, but they're very few. And it's unfortunate that when we got there, there's just litter everywhere. And I honestly, I wish that either the people who camped there before or the people who run this campsite would clean it up a little bit. We did our best to clean it up. Even as we're cooking our dinner, here we're cooking our dinner. The guy, the camp guy, came by and he's like, "Hey, make sure you don't cause any trash." And we're like, "Look at all this other trash over here. Why don't you come help clean this up?" And of course, I grew up camping and everything, so of course we packed all our trash out and then some. We took some of that garbage that was on the site with us. We had a nice little barbecue, enjoying the little coffee. Yes, you can get a Walkabout Rojo mug on my website. Shameless self-promotion, right? Oh, wait, I'm not showing the photos. Sorry. I'm clicking through these and not even showing them to you. I'm sorry. So we went camping. This is the campsite. I just have a small 2-person tent. And when I say small, it's small. I mean, Mona's tiny, and I'm about twice her size. And I do not fit in this tent well. I need to get a bigger tent. But the good news is that it was very cold. So a small tent warms up pretty quickly. If you have a big tent, it just stays cold. Mm. So yes, we're doing barbecue over regular coals. So that was good food, man. That was really good. A little drip coffee. Mona excited to use her tea kettle. Have some tea as the sunset. Great shot here. Wonderful shot. Again, the sunset was fabulous. There were other. This is our site there, and I got some great drone footage of this. Again, this is in Huizhou, and you can walk down this hill and access these rocks and climb on the rocks and see some tide pools and just a very dramatic oceanfront scene on this cliff. We're about 20 meters off the cliff here. There's no beach. There is a beach. It's down the road a little bit, but it's a dirt road and it's hard to access and stuff. And there were already people camping there, so quite a lot of campers up there. We found this nice, secluded, quiet site for the night, and we froze in the morning. It was cold and it was wet. It wasn't raining, but you're on the ocean, so everything got pretty wet. Showers and flush restrooms. Pretty good little campsite. I can't remember how much it cost to stay there. It was not expensive. It was, I think, $10, about $10 to stay there, maybe $15. And you don't get an actual campsite. What you have to do is you have to explore around and find an open area, and that's where you set up camp. Um, there's no like assigned campsites. And in truth, above us there's like a road, and some young couple came. They set up their tent. They set up a table. They put up a computer and played some music. It wasn't techno music. It was like pop music, and they had a camera with a giant light. It looked like they were live streaming, and they were a young, good-looking couple. They cooked some food, and then they took off. This is as soon as the sun went down, they finished their dinner. They were on their little computers camping, and then at about 10 o'clock, they took off. So they weren't really camping. They didn't spend the night. We did. We froze. People around here also leave a lot of garbage lying around the beaches here. Not sure if it's a global attitude or most people are they're just lazy. They're just lazy. If you see it, point it out and say, "Look, pick that up, man." They drill it into my head as a boy when I was a Boy Scout. You got to leave a site better than you found it. And I to this day I can't. We didn't get all the trash, but we did pack up some of the trash that was around us and included it in our pack out. It was just too much. It was just too much. But yeah, it's unfortunate. There is garbage everywhere. My friend Tyler, when he goes hiking, he takes a trash bag and packs up a lot of stuff too. I mean, it's something I've seen less of, but everywhere you go, every country I've ever been to, people do that. Even back in America, you would see trash all over the beaches, even though there's garbage cans right there. People just leave it, and either on purpose or they just simply forget. Where is this place? Is it suitable for kids? This is in Huizhou. It's on a peninsula in Huizhou. Yeah, Mona would know. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just west of the Shenzhen uh, city limits. On the end of it, looks almost like an island. It's really like this resort style kind of island, and it was great. Uh, is this? Yeah, there were children there. There were children playing on the rocks. It's great for kids. It really is. It's just it's wintertime. It's a little cold, and of course, it being on the ocean, everything gets wet at night. Just the moisture in the air. So you got to keep that in mind. But yeah, there were children everywhere, being kids and having fun. It was cool. Very cool. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Beijing, shall we? Okay, so last week I took off to Beijing. I'd been planning to go to Beijing for a very, very long time. I was going out there to film with Baidu. Baidu invited me. I went out on my own dime. Nobody paid for this trip. It completely 100% my dime. Every place I went, all the plans I made to bring you interesting vlogs and interesting experiences. And that's something I always promise you guys is that I do not do sponsored content. So even me going to Baidu corporate headquarters and filming with them, I did it all on my own, 100%. So originally, I was gonna go and like get a car, DD it or Subway or whatever. But Mona actually told me I should rent a car, so I did. I rented a Volkswagen Passat, great car, and I got there, and the company we use is Nucha or Zucha. Uh, and it's everywhere, and I've used them before, so it was just easy for me. But even though this is a brand new car, it still smelled like cigarettes, and then the tint on the windows was literally peeling off. You couldn't look through the windows; it was so bad. So I said, "Look, I'll take the car. Just peel the tint off for me." So these are the guys at the airport peeling the tint off for me. Great customer service, very good customer service, very convenient. This is at Beijing Daxing Airport, the brand new one, the star one. Is it Zahad Hadi? I can't remember the name. That's so embarrassing. What's it? What's that famous? She passed away recently. Anyways, incredible airport, very very large. I've vlogged the whole experience, and this is a level of the parking lot that's completely empty because there's only two car rental agencies here, and um, but very convenient, easy, get in, go. So first place I went to was Universal Studios. So drove out to Universal Beijing. This is the city walk, obviously. Brand new, the largest Universal Studios in the world. I learned about this years ago before they even started building it. They announced the building of the Universal Studios back in like the early 2000s, and finally it opened up this year to great fanfare, and it did not disappoint. It was a wonderful place to go. The first night I was there, I kind of vlogged the hotel, the Universal Grand, which is a terrible hotel. Um, the service is fantastic, but the hotel itself is just super boring and way overpriced. It costs like $200 a night to stay there, and it's a box. It's a nice box, but it's just a box. You pay for the location, and you pay for because you get the 1 hour entry into the park before anybody else, and that to me was worth the money. And it only costs like I think it was like 418, 420 RMB for the ticket into the park. But the first night, the night before, I went to the city walk, and they have this chocolate emporium called what's it called? Toothsome. And I had dinner here. Great steak, giant chocolate factory restaurant. Got me a chocolate stout beer and a nice steak dinner. It was not cheap, but that was one of the best steak dinners I've had in China, no doubt. It was that good. So if you're ever in Universal, check it out. Uh, yeah, this is the view from my hotel room at the Universal Grand. It looks straight at the entrance. I'm literally right above the entrance. I mean, you just walk down the stairs, you're in, and this is the night before. They have it's still Christmassy, even though it's after New Year's. They're still playing Christmas music. They have the Christmas tree up, and that will continue until Spring Festival. In China, Christmas tends to run well into January. They keep the themes going everywhere you go. They're finally starting to take Christmas down here in Zhongshan. It's becoming more Spring Festival now. They're playing the Chinese Spring Festival songs in the malls now, and so I don't see it. But there's still some Christmas trees up, and Christmas lights are up everywhere. So you're starting to see that. Uh, the next morning, I went out to my car, and I forgot how cold Beijing was supposed to be in the winter. It didn't snow, but it frosted over, and I haven't had frost on my car since my days in South Dakota. So this was a welcome sight, to be honest. Uh, just to see the frost on it it was like, oh, I remember winter, because in Zhongshan we really don't have a winter here. And yes, it was cold. Yes, I suffered, but it was felt good. It was embrace the suck. It was it was great to feel the winter again. And the first place I went to was is it Hogsmeade, which is the Wizarding World at Universal. Great atmosphere here. I haven't been to the ones in America. I've been to Universal in Hollywood, obviously, but I last time I was there was before they built the Harry Potter world there. And of course, Universal does have the backlot tour, which the other Universals don't. I have been to the Universal in Singapore, which is small and tiny, but I still had a good time there. But this one was much, much better than the one in Singapore. Much, much better. And I had a great time exploring the Harry Potter area here. This is later. This is after I had ridden the ride. All these people were the people that came in the park after I got. So when I went on this ride, I was really one of the only ones there. And what a cool, cool ride. I mean, this ride is well worth the price of admission. One thing I've noticed, and I pointed this out in the vlog, is a lot of the people here in China, they wear the robes, they wear the scarves, they get the wand, they take photos, and it's all throughout the park. I'd say about maybe a quarter of the people in the park were wearing Harry Potter robes. This is like a huge thing. And this is obviously the most popular part of the park. Harry Potter is extremely popular in China. And I loved walking around this area, this land, and seeing everyone in Harry Potter outfits. It really added to the atmosphere and made it a lot of fun. The illusion of being in Harry Potter. It really does add to that excitement. And later on, I actually had dinner there. Yeah, so I went. This is called the Witch's Broomstick or something, and it's this old style kind of feast. You they have these long tables, and so you have to find a place to sit. You sit down with people you don't know, and you're making new friends. And I had I don't know what I had. I had this shepherd's pie or this beef pasty, whatever the pasty, whatever they call it. I had the butter beer. That's not a butter beer. That's just a tea. But I had the butter beer. The butter beer tastes like candy. It's like a caramel. It's like drinking candy, is what it is. But a wonderful experience to have dinner in this spot and enjoy it. It was so cool. Yeah. Um, I sent this photo to some friends of mine who love Harry Potter here in China, and just to make them a little jealous of the experience. And the other great ride was here at the Jurassic World. They had this Jurassic World adventure with dinosaurs. The animatronics now, I mean, a lot. Okay, so a lot of rides now are a combination of cart movement with 3D screens, and it just moves you from screen to screen to screen to screen. And there was some of that in this ride. There's a lot of that in the Harry Potter ride. It's like a combination of all this, but the animatronics of the live action animatronics of the dinosaurs, of the T-Rex, was so lifelike and so real. It's incredible with the sound and the smells and everything. It really puts you in that world. I vlogged a little bit of it. I don't want to give a lot of it away, but there's some parts in it that just I had to write it a second time because it blew me away. I was like, how did they do that? How did they make that illusion come alive with these animatronics? It was that impressive. So I very, very cool. Hello, Mona. Good evening. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Yep, theme parks. Yeah, I love theme parks. I mean, I grew up near Disneyland. I would go all the time, and Six Flags, Knott's Berry Farm, Universal, of course, SeaWorld. A lot of theme parks in Southern California. So I love theme parks, and the ones here in China, Chinlong is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. The Disneyland in Shanghai was great, and now they have Universal. It was so much fun. I'm actually looking forward to doing it again. Here's the one thing though: when you're in Beijing, Beijing is sealed tightly. I mean, the city itself has its own rules and its own kind of COVID rules, if you will. You have to download this health kit onto your phone and apply, and it's so strict there. I mean, getting in is one thing. I'll talk about that in a second. Getting in is one thing, but even here at Universal, so I'm in the hotel. I scan the health kit, and you have to have the 48-hour, test, and you know passport and visa and all this checks. Then you do the exact same thing to get in. You go through security. They check your bags. They pat you down. I mean, they pat you down everywhere. They're not shy about it, man. They get in there. They get into it. Um, and this is Universal Park. Health checks everything. So boom, I'm into the park. I'm wandering around, right? Now, each one of these places that you go to, every indoor store, every outdoor cart, every coffee shop, every souvenir shop, every ride, every locker storage, every place that you go, you have to scan your health code. Everywhere. I mean, my phone was dying by the end of the day just from opening it up, getting not to mention just taking photos and looking on the app and wait times for the rides and everything. It's everywhere, and they're very strict on it. Very, very strict. And of course, wear the mask everywhere you go. And this is at the park, and it's like that all over Beijing. Every store you go to, they won't let you in until you scan that code, and there's someone at the door checking, and if you don't do it, they're not getting in. It's at every McDonald's. It's in the hotel itself. Okay, once you're in the hotel, you've done it all. Then you want to go to a restaurant in the hotel, you have to do it again. And the same thing at the airport. You get into the airport. That's just one trick alone, is to get access into the airport. Then once you're in the airport and you want to go to the Starbucks, scan it again. Every little door that you go through, every couple of feet, you have to scan this code. It's the strictest thing I've ever seen. And it's normal for the people who live in Beijing. This is normal for them now. This is what they do. And I get it. This is why there is zero COVID in Beijing right now, because they are very, very strict on that. Now, the Olympics are coming up soon. So, all right, I got to move on, guys. This is getting long. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, okay. Go through all that. Okay. What else? Okay, so more Beijing. After Universal, I stayed at a place called the Eclat. This is the greatest design hotel I've ever stayed in my life. This place was awesome. It's this is an enclosed terrace. So this is a glass building with towers inside the glass structure, and the hotel occupies the top floors. And this is my terrace, essentially my living room of the room. And you can see it's an outdoor feel, but it's in this glass enclosure. So it was cool but not cold. It was not dirty because it wasn't outside. And I hung out on this terrace and did my work out there, and great. And this place has the largest Salvador Dali sculpture collection in Asia. So everywhere you turn, there's incredible pieces of artwork, and there's Salvador Dali pieces everywhere. This is actually in the hotel, and the owner of the building has, lots of Salvador Dali. Big fan, of course. There were no paintings. I guess the paintings are in his private home, but you can see here even they had this giant silver great white shark, this Jaws shark, hanging from the ceiling. This thing was massive and super, super impressive to look at. I hope it comes out on film. I haven't looked at the raw footage of this yet, but again, this will all be in the vlog. Oh, I have one more. This is one of the animatronics. the Universal. The next day after Universal, I drove out to Baidu and spent a few hours with Baidu. I rode in their autonomous bus and a couple of their robo taxis. I got to see some of their data centers. A lot of this stuff I wasn't allowed to film because it's all secret. But I walked around. They have a KFC there. I didn't go to the KFC, but I got to see how the people work and people live on the Baidu campus. This represents all of the searches going on this is like at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning within China. You can see it's something at this point of the day, there was something like 60 billion searches done by that time. And this is all the locations in real time. And I think this one just shows the traffic congestion at that time. And in the country of China, oh, this was not the searches. This is actually the map queries, Baidu map queries. And then this is the congestion, the real-time traffic congestion in this country of China. Number one was at this time was in Chongqing, and number two was Hangzhou. Guangzhou, I think, was number three. So this was at about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. Can't remember. So more stuff coming out with that. These are not released yet. These are not even been announced yet, but these are the new DJI wireless microphones. The dude at the DJI store at the ECLAT kind of pulled them out and said, check this out. Don't buy these. Wait for these to come out. So he gave me a little sneak peek. Don't have pricing on it yet because they haven't officially been announced, but this is going to be my next toy, as well as a new Pocket. They have a new Pocket coming out. There was a snafu with parking. The ECLAT got me a nice bottle of champagne. That was nice of them. That evening, I went for dinner at this place called the Taco Bar, north in kind of a nightlife area. I can't remember Santalum, or I can't remember the name of the area now, but it's north of the CBD, kind of northwest of the center of Beijing. It's a very famous place. Lots of bars, lots of fancy restaurants, lots of Ferraris and Lamborghinis driving around everywhere. This was the nightlife center. You can see even a poop emoji on the wall. The food was not poop. I heard about this taco bar, and it's supposed to be very famous. Some of the best tacos in China. So I had to go check it out. And true enough, they were fantastic. So the Taco Bar of Beijing, check that out. The next day, I drove out to the Great Wall, and I had a little experience here. Now, I've been wanting to see the Great Wall my whole life, and this is the entrance to, I think it's Jinshanling area, which is a combination of both restored wall and old wall. And this is one I wanted to hike for the day. As you can see, it's freezing cold. It was actually snowing this day. Not at this moment, but it snowed later in the day. It was very, very cold. I'm just the only one there. I got out there at about 9 a.m. and the parking lot was completely empty. And I got all my gear on. I got my heat pads going. I got my walking sticks. I'm ready to go hike it. Got my drone ready, all my cameras charged. And I walk up there and I said, okay, let's go. And they said I needed a 48-hour test to access the wall. I did not know that. I looked at my phone and I was at about 60 hours since my last test. I said, look, it's 60 hours since my last test. I'm the only one here. There's nobody else here. I'm all alone. I came all this way. This is a dream of mine to see the wall. They could see how devastated and heartbroken I was. And at the end of the day, they still said no. They were very professional and polite about it. They could tell they did not want to turn me away, but these are the rules. This is their job. So they turned me away. So I could see the wall, but I couldn't go up there. And it broke my heart. It really did. This was a tough day for me. I'm on the north side of the wall. To access this particular trailhead, you have to go on the north side of the wall. What I didn't realize was that is technically out of the Beijing city limits. I didn't realize that. So in addition to that, I also had to get back into the city, and they wouldn't let me back into the city because my test was out of date. You had to have a 48-hour test within 48 hours to access the city. Uh, I tried to explain them, look, I've only been out for 30 minutes. This is what happened. They said, nope, these are the rules. We're not going to let you go. The woman at the hotel, at the Rosewood Hotel, actually helped out a lot with trying to work with the police and give me directions to get back into the city. It was a process. Of course, Mona helped out a lot with some translations, because in these rural areas, in these mountains, my Chinese is not very good, and not only that, but they're speaking that heavy Beijing accent, which made it even harder for me to understand and communicate. All the police, all the people that I dealt with for this entire day trying to access uh, to get back into Beijing were incredibly sweet and professional and calming and wonderful. They treated me with a ton of respect, but they still had to follow the rules, and they guided me through it. So it's, of course, Echo from excuse me, Zoe from the Rosewood Hotel, but also Mona helping with, and the people who did the test. We got photos of it and everything, and it's all vlogged and everything. So getting back into the city, this is just the first police check. There were three to get back into the city. This one I had to get through and explain to them that I needed a new test. They sent me back around, and I had to wait in line in the freezing cold to in this tiny little room with a bunch of tourists from all around the country trying to get their test so they can access Beijing. Um, got the test. It took a couple of hours. Got Had to drive back track on the highway, get back, go through this checkpoint again. Then there was another checkpoint beyond this on the other side that you can see up on the ridge. That is the Great Wall. I could actually see the Great Wall. I had to like drive through this tunnel underneath the Great Wall to get back into the city of Beijing. This took all day. This is about 2 hours north of the center of town. And the second check, they stopped me. They made me get out of my car and go up to the window, and they said I had to register the car. So I had my paper. Just China, tons of paperwork. So they're going through it. They're on the computer. They're inputting all my information, my passport, my visa. It actually was faster than I thought it was going to be. But this is my Saturday. My Saturday was getting denied access to the Great Wall because my test was expired, and then being denied access back into the city. And I was really worried. I was like, how am I going to get back into the city? I got reservations. I got appointments. I got meetings. I got things to do. And plus, I'm leaving. I'm flying out in 2 days. I got to get back into the city. But it all worked out. Again, everyone was super, super accommodating, very professional, very polite. I vlogged the whole thing. You'll see it in the vlogs of how people were treating me and everybody, and how things were very, very orderly. Their system was in place to get it done. I just had to navigate that system. Of course, my Chinese has improved quite a bit, so I was able to do a lot of it on my own. But I also had the support systems of the Zoe at the Rosewood Hotel, and of course Mona also helping me through a lot of this stuff via FaceTime. So thank you, because without those two girls, I would not have been able to do it on my own, or I could have, but I'm sure it would have taken a lot longer. But also the police at every step of the way, all the police who just spoke no English, were super, super accommodating, very, very calm, and very polite and professional. I give it up to them, because around them is chaos going on with all these people trying to get into the city, and they took it in stride. They go through the process. Incredible thing to watch, incredible thing to see. I hope you all can appreciate it when you see the vlogs. Well, I got back into the city, and of course there was Yeah, this is another police checkpoint. This one actually took a long time to get through. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When I tell you Beijing is tight, Beijing is tight. I mean, it's getting in and out of that city. Getting out is easy, you just go across, but getting in and then navigating through the city itself is unlike anything I experienced in China or anywhere else. It's that insane. Stayed at the Rosewood, the beautiful and elegant Rosewood Hotel. This is a standard room. You can see it's quite large. Few years, it's 7 or 8 years old now, so it shows its age here and there. But a wonderful hotel. This is the view that they gave me. This is on the 18th floor. This you can see at the CCTV towers, and of course the largest tower in China. I can't remember the name of it now. Starts with a C. Great tower. Uh, but all the videos and all the things you see about Beijing, this is that road. I drove on it quite a bit. Great part of the city. Great walkable city. Had treated my after that long day. Treated myself to a nice steak dinner. Look at the thickness of that steak. That is thick. This is a French restaurant at the hotel. At least the bread was free because everything else was super expensive. And dinner, of course, dessert. Had to rub it in a little bit, right? The swimming pool is got to be one of the nicest swimming pools I have ever seen. And it's really an incredible selling point for this, not just the location and the service and the history of this hotel and the amenities. This swimming pool is awesome. It's first of all, it's beautiful. I had the whole place to myself. It was a Sunday night when I took this, and I got to go for a swim. And the only thing it's lacking are lap lanes, so you can look down and kind of watch where you're going. But incredible. And then off to the left is a real working jacuzzi. As you guys know, if you follow my channel, every hotel I go to with the jacuzzi, it's either broken or the water's cold, or there is no water in it. But this one it was so big you can go swimming in it, and it was super hot and wonderful to relax in. Great swimming pool. A highlight of the trip was the Rosewood Hotel. I got a great vlog coming out on this hotel. You guys will love it. The next day I went for a walk. Just looking at some possible cameras that I want to buy. Keep watching my videos so I can afford that. This setup here with the camera, the mic, the screen, the all this stuff, everything on here, it's almost 60,000 yuan. I'm a long way off from getting this. I'm still rocking my DJI Osmo pockets. All right, close all these out. Got a lot open, guys. So when I went for a walk, I started in the CBD, and I walked towards the Forbidden City. And my whole goal was to go check out this is a place that I've been wanting to visit my entire life. You read National Geographic magazines. I had a terrible fail at the Great Wall on Saturday. It just means I got to go back, right? I got to go back and do it properly. I got to do better research in order to access that wall so I can vlog it and share it, but also just experience walking on the wall. I mean, it's a lifelong dream of mine that did not come true. A huge walkabout fail. This is the other one. It's about 4 or 5 miles from the Rosewood Hotel to this area. And getting into this area, as you can see, this is I can't remember. This is called the Meridian Gate. One of them is the Meridian Gate, but this is the one with the Mao Zedong painting on the one you see in all the photos and everything. And across the street from that is Tiananmen Square. Getting into this area of town was not easy. First of all, it's freezing cold, and it was snowing on this day. I have heat pads and stuff. You have 3 layers of security. There are police everywhere. It's not just the local police. They have special, like, national park police, and they have the army guys. And the army guys they're doing their job. They're doing security, but they're also marching around and doing, ceremony guardsman type stuff, which I can really appreciate. I love military pomp. I used to be an honor guardsman myself. So watching these guys and full dress uniform, winter full dress uniform, marching around, and it was really cool to see. But getting to that point took hours, not just walking from the hotel, because I did a little walk through the city, but waiting in line, getting through the security. Again, they check everything. Everything is facial scan. Of course, I don't have a Chinese ID, so I had to like wave down like a police commander or something, say, "Hey, can you help me?" He came over. I was actually able to talk with him in Chinese. Thank you, Leva, my Chinese teacher. My Chinese classes are paying off, and answer his questions, and tell him what I wanted. And he's looking at the visa. He takes it off. He scans it. He scans my face. He gives me permission to come in, and then there's another one you have to get through the health codes and the health checks. Finally, at about 11:30 or so, I was able to access and go through these gates and towards the entrance to the Forbidden City. And I got there ready to buy my ticket. I gave them all my codes. I had my health check, everything, because of the day before, and very excited to film it. And they said because of the pandemic, they can only allow so many people into the Forbidden City per day, and all the tickets were sold out, and there was nothing they could do. So yet again, another walkabout fail. I was not able to access the Forbidden City either. I got to go to Tiananmen Square, walk around there, which in and itself is pretty impressive. I mean, this whole area of town is really impressive. You know, I got to walk around the Forbidden City with the wall on my right hand side. But everywhere I went, even like the park, the hill park that's behind it, they have limited amount of access to it because of the pandemic. So everywhere I went, I was turned away, and they told me no. Not because I didn't have all my paperwork in order, or it's just because because of the pandemic, they have to limit the amount of people allowed in these areas on any given day. And they had already, this is a Sunday. And I was told, Sunday, freezing cold day, snowy, it's early January, the kids are still in school, um, and there weren't that many people there. It was pretty empty, but they turned me away everywhere I went. So again, I was heartbroken by that. That these two places that I've spent my whole life wanting to see, and I was so excited. I told everyone, "Hey, I'm going to get a chance to go here. I'm going to get a chance," and I wasn't able to access it. These are huge walkabout fails, and I've vlogged my emotions and my feelings that that I was feeling at that time. And so it'll be in the vlog, and you'll get to see how it made me feel in real time. I always try to look at things on the bright side, and you know, on the bright hand, on the other side of this, I just walked back to the city through the hutongs and got to see a lot more of the city. So I went on an urban hike, 10 miles or so of an urban hike. Ate some snacks, explored the city the way I like to explore. Went on a walkabout of the city. Uh, but yeah, walkabout fail. Jamaica Fox says, I went there my first year in China. You didn't buy your ticket in advance? No, I was told I wouldn't have to because it was wintertime, and that if I got there early enough, it'd be fine. So that was my fault for not triple checking. All right, Jamaica. Gene, uh, it is just, I look at it like this. I'll be going, I plans to go back to Beijing in, I think it's April, for the Beijing Auto Show. If I can stay a couple extra days, maybe I can gain access to it when the weather's a little bit better. Depends on how my lecture schedule is for the next term. I don't have it yet, so I don't know, but we'll see. I will be going back. I do have to go back to Beijing in the next couple of months, but this won't be my last time going to Beijing. I thoroughly enjoyed the city. It's incredibly amazing walkable city. It's flat, it's easy to navigate. The public transportation is fantastic. The people are super friendly. Uh, Everywhere I went, just it was incredible. I was talking on the phone with Mona one night afterwards, and we went to I went to that taco place, and sitting next to me were a couple. I think they were on like a date. They seemed to be on a first date, but a Chinese couple, and they were speaking perfect American English, and they were going back and forth between American English and Chinese, and just listening to it for the 20 minutes I was there. They were obviously students who, or excuse me, people who lived in, Chinese-born Americans who now live in Beijing, and that was a common thread that I saw all throughout the city, everywhere, even at the hotel. I was eating dinner, my steak dinner at the hotel, and sitting next to me was a beautiful Chinese family, two little girls, and a young family, and they were. I don't know if they were born in America or something, but they lived in America and were visiting Beijing and had been living here for a couple of years, or excuse me, visiting here for a couple of days. Incredible stories like that, and that was very common everywhere I went. The guys at the hotel, the doorman studied in in America, and Zoe, I think she studied in like Switzerland and stuff. So it's super super international, and lots of English. People who are bilingual, trilingual, not just Chinese and Westerners. There were people from Africa. There were people there from India. It was super international. I really really dug the vibe. The city itself is just square. It has some interesting buildings here and there and stuff like that, and beautiful parks, lots and lots of history. But it's square. But what makes the city so amazing is the people. The people. Uh, Everywhere I went, I was blown away. I mean, I everywhere I go in China, people are very friendly, and I always love coming back to my hometown. I tell everybody this. I always have a great time, and but I was shocked at how wonderful I was treated in Beijing and how friendly and opening, um, the openness of everybody. Tight security likely got tighter after the terrorist attack in Xinjiang, especially. I don't know much about that. Um, It's a national treasure. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's the face of China. I mean, every country will have tight security around their national treasures. I mean, my country has it too, and for good reason. For good reason. And it wasn't just for security purposes. It was also a sense of national pride. I can see that with the soldiers as they marched around, and all the pomp and all the history and stuff. There were a lot of local tourists, a lot of Chinese tourists that were there getting their selfies. In fact, people were coming up to me, random strangers, and asking me to take their photos of just them in front of the. I mean, they were so happy and proud to be there. It was a wonderful experience to see that, to see the local tourists out there enjoying it. I mean, it's one thing for a foreigner to go there and say, "Wow, I've seen this in photographs and I'm very excited and wonderful to be here," but to see the locals, the sense of pride they have in that, in their own historical landmarks such as these. It's wonderful. It's the same kind of pride that an American would have. You can go to Washington D.C. and you see the Washington Monument or the Capitol building and stuff. You get that same feeling. So yeah, I was really moved by all of it. To be honest, I went to the end of spring break with a coworker. Pretty crowded, but we had tickets to the Hall of Clocks and a few other things inside. Mao is lying in state there as well. Yeah, I'd love to go. I'd love to experience all of that, but I only had one day. I had other plans to do that evening. Um, just a walkabout fail. As a nice little treat, I got upgraded the on the airplane home. Now coming back, getting back to the airport was pretty cool. Daxing International in the south side of Beijing, the brand new one, is a remarkable airport. Everything is automated. The security checks were really really cool. Um, Got a couple of souvenirs, all the courtyards, the little gardens they have at the end of all the wings and stuff, they were all closed, mostly because it's just so cold. So everything was just tightened up. It was cold. It was windy. It was just not a fun place to hang out. So of course they were cold. Uh, we'll have to go back there. When I flew back into Zhuhai last night, uh, it was also tight. And getting off the plane, I had to download a new app and register a new app, and mandatory testing as you come off the flight. It was kind of chaotic, to be honest with you, because Zhuhai Airport's pretty tiny, and there were a lot of people coming in and out. But no, they had mandatory testing. Stand in line, get your swab. Police everywhere. It was a lot more chaotic than even Beijing, I think. But that was my Beijing trip. Not everything I wanted it to be, and that's my fault. Um, the people of Beijing, the hotel people, again, they made the trip as easy as possible. They accommodated me. They helped me through my poor planning. They did it very professionally. They were very empathetic of certain situations that I found myself in, and completely my fault. And I want to thank everyone I ran into and all the people back here in Guangdong that helped me through it, especially Mona. I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. I'm glad I did it. It was great to be in the wintertime. It was great to feel the cold. And of course, being back here for today and going about my day here where everyone's all bundled up. And I'm like, this is nothing, guys. It was great to experience the winter again. Okay. That being said, live stream's long. No news tonight. We'll do the news. We'll do the news in the next live stream. But the vlogs that are coming out, I've got, of course, all the Beijing, the Baidu walkabout of Baidu corporate headquarters, which was pretty cool. I don't know how much of that I'm going to be able to share. A lot of it is confidential stuff. They did open it up for me and allowed me to come in and film it. That's one thing you have to say about it. But yeah, they got a lot of really, really neat stuff there. Of course, the 3 hotels I stayed at, Universal Studios was a blast. It's well worth the trip to go to Universal Studios. Incredible theme park. I really enjoyed it. My walkabout of Beijing with both fails, the Great Wall and me trying to get back into the city. It wasn't fun while I was experiencing. I tried to laugh it off and say, "Oh, this is all part of the adventure and stuff." But to be honest with you, at the time, it was quite frustrating. Uh, but all the while knowing I'd be able to get through it with the help of some wonderful people. In addition to the firefighting video will be coming out soon. I've got 2 Zhongshan food videos, more hotel videos. I got the wax museum and the wax art videos coming out. I've been doing, while I was finishing up the term, I was also doing a lot of charity work. So that's taken up a lot of my time, and that's why I haven't seen too many videos coming out. But now that I've got some time off, Mona and I are planning on doing some road trips. Probably going to stay in Guangdong because it's just too much of a hassle to. We thought about going to Sanya for a while, but I don't want to get on another airplane. I don't want to experience all that again. It's just not worth it. I want to relax and enjoy my holiday. um, Good morning, watching from Toronto, Canada. Yeah, night and wow, that is cold. It got down to about -11 was the coldest it got in Beijing when I was there. Um, but I spent many years in the Dakotas, in the frozen tundra of South Dakota, so I'm no stranger to cold weather. In fact, I rather enjoy it. I rather enjoy the not just the challenge of living your life in that, but also the warmth you feel when you go indoors. That contrast between the cold and the warm. It it's very homey feeling. I love that. So I got a lot. I got my fill of it while I was there. I'll be going back. I'll be going back in April. I got to get off, guys. Thank you for joining me. This is a long live stream. Sorry about that. A lot of great videos coming out. Please be patient with me. I'm finally free. I'm home, and I can sit at this desk and get some editing done. And I think you'll be very impressed with what I got for you. I hope you all are staying safe and happy. Please, please get vaccinated, and let's try to get this world back to some sense of normality. Okay. Until then, take care all.